What's up, everyone? We are back with another episode of Super Deluxe Gamescast. It is Thursday, September the 29th, last podcast of September of this year. I'm feeling pretty crappy. I don't know about you guys. Not just crappy physically, because I don't feel very good, but I also just feel crappy mental. Like, it's just the past year has been very draining for me. I don't know about you guys, but man, I am about done with this fucking year. Do you guys share that sentiment at all, or am I just like talking out of my ass here? So, yeah, talk to me at 42, fucking baby. But but so tone it down. What are you talking about? So okay, so I want to say this to everybody in chat right now. We had a very interesting conversation right before we went live about the origins of the nickname for Soap McTavish in Call of Duty. First of all, what is his actual real name? What is Soap's real fucking name? Do we actually know what that is? There's no because Soap is in parentheses, or not parentheses, it's in quotation marks. So, yeah, so it's like, yeah, his name is Soap McTavish. But we have, of course it's fucking John. Like, it is absolutely. Please, no Johns. But but like a whole 10 people fucking got that. But so we had this idea that his nickname is Soap, not because he likes to, not for something cool like, you know, I'm going to clean up all these bad guys, or, you know, I'm going to scrub this area clean, nothing like that. They call him Soap because he never fucking washes, and they're constantly trying to remind him, dude, soap, man. Like CJ, was it you who said they're not actually calling? Was it CJ who said they're not actually calling him Soap? Soap, man, soap, and it just kind of. The deodorizer? Who fucking? Oh well, that's fixed now. So
they're
missing out on some quality content.
Really quality content.
Like the
real good riffing. Right
yeah, absolutely. Everybody's just riffing off me right now.
We can rewind. I have it all written down.
That's fine. Okay.
Right?
All right. So anyway, before we went live, we were talking about Call of Duty.
Oh my god!
I'm
way too tired to do this third time in 5 minutes.
Hold up.
Jesus Christ, CJ.
Talk about fucking Call of Duty, man. Let's go.
No.
talk about that thing I hate, but I also love. Go ahead.
CJ, I want you, for everybody who just saw what CJ did, what is the alcohol percentage of that drink you just had?
Okay, so let me preface it. This is let's see, Rancho LA Gloria. Ready to drink watermelon margarita wine cocktail. All right? Pretty good. 13.9% of alcohol in this little
13.9? I thought it was just 13. Yes, holy fuck.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
CJ, you're gonna be dead before this podcast is over. Fucking alcohol poisoning.
I ate before. I'm fine.
What did you have?
What did I eat today?
What did you eat?
What did I have today? I already forgot.
Yeah, because you're drinking almost 14% fucking alcohol shit there.
I had like a meatloaf thing. I'm fine. I'm good. I had like a lot of food. I'm good. Some rice too. I went to lunch with Christina. I went to a French bakery. I'm good. You went to a French
bakery? A French bakery?
Yeah.
Did you have a croissant? Did you have a croissant?
No, I did not. What's that sandwich called with the cheese and the ham? It's like with the egg on top.
A ham and cheese sandwich?
A ham and cheese sandwich.
Like that's what that shit is called.
What is it, croque monsieur? Whatever. All the French people in chat will correct this.
Our vast French audience here. Everybody, shout out to everybody listening in France right now. It's where we get the majority of our.
It's done.
I cannot believe you fucking downed it like that.
It can't hurt me now that it's gone.
I can't believe.
I can't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is empirically incorrect.
Like, I'm pretty sure it already hurt you, CJ.
Oh man! All right.
Oh wow. Jeff, how are you doing tonight, buddy? Aren't you happy to be here with us?
Oh no, yeah. I just I'm struggling. I just ate too much and I can't think. My shoulder does this weird thing when I eat too much where it hurts. Does anyone else like you can't really breathe?
Does your
shoulder hurts?
Does your shoulder hurt? Does that happen when it rains? Like, is that how you tell it's gonna rain? Like, oh shit, my shoulder hurts. Like, we're gonna get rain tonight. Like,
no,
Christine just texted me. She's like, "Ooh, you're live, pussy. I drank 2 of those things."
Wow.
Wow. How many you got?
This is the last one because she drank the rest.
Christine is a fucking champion. Yeah. Holy shit.
She did.
Get her in the goddamn chat.
I'm not gonna make her make a Twitch account. No, it's too far. You don't do that to people you love.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's true.
You don't do that to people. He'll get a Twitch account. It'll be a dark rabbit hole of like racial slurs and like gotcha bullshit.
Oh shit! Is Brittany popping up in here?
Man, Brit missed some primo.
There's
shit.
Brit. She missed some quality fucking content here.
So that means I need to leave, is what I'm hearing.
Brit, CJ just like...
It means you need to save us.
CJ just basically chugged a drink that is almost 14% alcohol. So we're...
Oh, fuck yeah, I did do something good.
I got that dog in me, Brit. Remember that.
CJ took his first swig right before we went live, and I thought he was going to die. Like, he fell off camera for a moment. And
off camera.
What is it? What are you drinking?
Dude, you put your head down.
Yeah, it tasted like shit first. Like the first sip, I'm like, "Ugh, that's it."
Look, we don't drink alcohol because it tastes good. We drink it.
You know what?
I drink it.
I'm not gonna explain it again on air because I already did. I'll send you I tweeted. I'll send you like the picture of it. You can analyze the bottle. Hold up. This is good for our listeners.
Good content.
It is.
Yeah,
this
we
is
also just like had every conversation like twice back to back.
Is anyone else coming on? We have like a special surprise guest because I gotta explain just like a 4th time.
Look, this
so
is why
the origin of soap again.
Yeah, let's talk about soap. Soap McTavish on Call of Duty.
Actually, for a minute I thought we were going to talk about the origin of actual soap. Like, well, you start with lye and you mix it with some water. And you add some. We should make some
Why do you know this?
Because I watched Fight Club. At one point.
No, you should have said. You should have said that you were in the shit. You had to survive on your own. You got to make soap. That's like the first thing you do.
I mean, yeah, that's absolutely what I had to do when I was in SEER training. I had to make my own soap.
What?
I don't know if I could fuck with that.
Why? What happened? Well, it doesn't matter. Look. What matters is this. I fucked with it. We're gonna see what happens. We're gonna get nuts. We're gonna get silly on this podcast.
Speaking of getting nuts, let's actually talk about fucking video games. We're 10 minutes into the podcast. We haven't of our video game content show, and we haven't fucking mentioned video games one. Well, except for I guess Call of Duty counts, right? Talking about soap.
Bad for SEO, guys.
Talking about soap counts. Soap McTavish, he's a video game character. No, so we got a couple news items we'll get to in just a bit, but first we're going to talk about what we've been playing as we normally do. And I'll kick this one off because today I've been playing Valkyrie Elysium. Thank you, Square Enix, for the code. Got it last night. So who here has played Valkyrie Profile for the PlayStation 1?
I've watched it be played, but I haven't played it myself.
That's good enough. So Valkyrie Profile is one of my favorite RPGs. Very, very cool. Very classic PlayStation 1 JRPG that's actually coming to PS4 and PS5 itself in December. Generally considered to be one of the best RPGs of that PlayStation era. Then we got Valkyrie Profile 2 on PlayStation 2. We had Covenant of the Plume on the DS, which is a tactics game, and now Covenant of the Plume, I want to say, came out in 2009. So it's been, 13 years? 12 years? I can't do fucking math, but it's been a very long time since the last Valkyrie game. And so my hopes were high for this one. And I got to tell you, they started off really, my impression started off really good, but it's really, really losing steam for me. the combat is the absolute, by far, best part of the game. If you've ever played any of the Drakengard games, it feels like a Drakengard game, but like good as far as the combat goes.
Can you describe like the actual combat, like the moment-to-moment gameplay?
Yeah, sure. So.
Because I've seen gameplay, but I'm curious.
Yeah, so this is a change for the Valkyrie series, right? Like the first two games were turn-based RPGs with a different twist on that format, but they still were turn-based. Covenant of the Plume was a tactics grid-based game. This is a straight-up action JRPG. And your party members, which are the Einherjar, as they have been in every game, and Einherjar is like it's like an ancient Norse term for warriors or something. But they're not with you on the field. You have to summon them out because they're all dead, right? Like being an Einherjar means you're dead. It's you're everybody's in Valhalla, and you're kind of like that's where you're building your party. They're essentially like special attacks. You summon them out, they attack for a little while, then they disappear, and then you have to summon them again. Each one of them is actually like based on a particular element. So knowing which Einherjar to bring out in a particular situation is actually really important. You can't just bring them out and they'll go tank the enemy for you. You've got to really think about what you're doing. You've also got a really cool grappling hook move called a Soul Chain. And not only does it help you, it's like a hook shot, right? Like not only does it help you get around the world, but you can also you can close the distance to enemies really fast and start, initiating a combo. It's really cool stuff. The combat is fast, fluid. It feels great. It's very, very visual in that your Valkyrie is, flipping around and she's like very super acrobatic. That part is all great. Like the combat is by and far the best part of the game. Where the game falls short are the visuals and the world and the story. The story is just like Odin may as well have a sign that says "I'm evil," right? Like he's very clearly going to betray you. The world itself, like I get that it's like you're kind of living in Ragnarok, right? Like that's kind of the whole thing about Valkyrie profile. So you're in the end times, but the world apart from enemies is just barren. Like there's the only NPC interactions you have other than the Einherjar are these memories that you find floating around like in these spirit flowers. And that's really it, right? There are side quests, but the side quests boil down to go find this ring, go kill these enemies, go, find 5 bunches of these flowers and bring it back to me, right? Like those are the side quests. The story itself, like I started playing the other night. I'm about 10 hours in. It's from what I've heard, like a 16 to 20 hour game. So I'm pretty sure I'm at the halfway or a little past the halfway point. The story is nothing to write home about. The story in Valkyrie Profile is great. This one is just like you're working for Odin and you're collecting souls for him, and that's really it. Like if maybe something monumentous is going to happen in the next.
Are the stories like connected aside from like the setting, or is it
so in older games? Yes, I have not really seen a connection in this one yet, apart from Odin and Valhalla.
So is this like a reboot or like just a standalone?
I don't know. Kind of actually, I honestly don't know.
It's like a Final Fantasy thing where it's only connected by.
So that's not the case in
certain elements.
In the other Valkyrie Profile games or in the other Valkyrie games. That's not the case, right? Like Valkyrie Profile 1 and 2. In Valkyrie Profile 2, you're actually playing as Lenneth's sister, Silmeria. Lenneth is the main character of the first game.
Okay.
And
so they're like directly connected.
They're directly connected, right? And in fact, a lot of the same party members and characters show up in Valkyrie Profile 2. In this, not the case. I haven't seen a single familiar name aside from like Odin. And Fenrir, and that's it. So I can't tell if this is actually connected to the prior games or not. So it's a little confusing. The other thing I wanted to bring up is the visuals, which are this is where the game really shows its budget. There are times the game looks pretty good, and there are times the game just looks straight up bad. If you're standing out in the world, there's a sunset, there's a bunch of shrubbery. Excuse me. And you just stand there looking at it.
Sorry.
Yeah, shrubbery. I don't know what to call it. Grass, trees, bushes. It looks pretty good, right? Like, it's not going to win. It's not going to. Nobody's going to compare it to God of War or anything, but it looks fine. The thing is, if you are running around in the world, basically every character is surrounded by this black outline, right? Like every character is a black outline. and everything is very smudged. Now it's a deliberate choice. It gives it kind of this pastel look, but it doesn't do the game any favors because the characters literally look like every character looks like they don't belong in that game world because of that black outline. And there's also a ton of pop in. Like you're walking forward and bushes and trees and rocks are constantly popping in. It gets to the point where it's pretty distracting. And there's real essentially the combat's fun, but but like my 10 hours in the game so far have boiled down to a series of battles, and you end the chapter, and then you move on to the next chapter.
See, I know this game isn't doing well because I have it in Fantasy Critic and it got me negative points. So
You sounded salty earlier. You sound saltier now.
I sound even more salty.
Well,
Square Enix did me dirty, all right? So I don't mean to steal your spotlight.
No, steal
John,
my spotlight.
But I had fucking I don't even remember what it's called. Final Fantasy Origin.
You counter.
Oh yeah.
So
Final Fantasy.
so,
Yeah.
Counterpicked that
so
shit, and it
let's-
ended up being good.
let's explain this for people that
It always
that
looked
don't know.
good, for the record.
So we
It didn't. No, it didn't.
It did.
It did.
on our Discord, we're running a fantasy critic where we draft games, and based off of their review scores, we either gain or lose points. And a counterpick is something that you choose thinking it's going to be bad. And Britt counterpicked it, and then it ended up scoring above a 70, and therefore she lost points.
So, don't fucking blast me like that.
Oh my
Never-
god.
Oh
Never-
wow,
never bet
Rard is
against-
calling you out.
Never
So-
bet against New Metal. Never bet against Edge Lords.
So not
Chocobo
only
GP,
is
ooh.
that a Square Enix game for me, I also picked Chocobo GP. I also picked Triangle Strategy. I also picked Harvestella, and I also picked Valkyrie Profile. I
Did
had
you also have
Forspoken.
Forspoken, which got delayed?
Yeah, I
out
had
of the year?
Forspoken, and then it got fucking delayed. So I'm like scrambling because they just like delayed it not too long ago. So now it's like end of the year. I'm scrambling, and
So-
it's just not looking good for Brittany right now.
So, by the way, I just want to explain to people the situation I'm in, because this is funny. I have picked several games that were announced like years ago to be releasing this year that have not officially gotten delayed out of the year, and there's no fucking way they're getting released this year, but I cannot drop them because they are not officially delayed out of this year. One of them finally got delayed, which was Oxenfree 2. So I was
Oh, I
I'm down
forgot
to
that
3
got
now. I
delayed.
had
Man.
4. Because that game was announced for spring 2022, and they didn't say anything about the release date changing until September. So that's fun.
So I mean, it's my first fantasy critic, and it might be my last because I am in last place. I have no redemption arc coming up, and it's it hasn't been a good fantasy. You know what? 2022 has just been a shitty year for me overall. So it fits the theme.
I
but
feel you
still,
there, Britt. I
it
feel you
could
there.
Just fuck right off into the sun.
I feel
know?
you there.
I'm waiting for God of War. God of War was my first draft for this year, and I'm just waiting for that one.
It was. You couldn't decide between that and Horizon.
Well, the person before me took Horizon, so
It was
It was
random, wasn't it?
so I was the second. I was the second person to choose, and the first person chose Horizon.
All right. Well, that's all I had to say about Valkyrie Elysium. Getting back to my video game I was talking about. That's all I really have to say about Valkyrie Elysium. It's okay so far. It's not what maybe I did this to myself, but I was hoping for something that was really going to be like, oh man, I'm getting those Valkyrie profile vibes, and I'm just not. So it is what it is. It's not a bad game. It's just a mediocre game. That's how I feel about it right now. Britt, what you been playing?
So I've been sick, if you couldn't tell.
No, I couldn't tell at all.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not.
Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not.
I couldn't tell. I only remember you telling us, but clearly I don't know if that was like a
I meant from the sound of my. You guys are being fucking ruthless today. First, Rar fucking spilling my receipts. Now you guys giving me.
I can't
shit.
believe he did that to you, Britt. I will say that. Like, rar.
I think I'm tipsy.
So I've been sick, so I haven't been playing a lot. I've just been playing a lot of Splatoon. I did Splatfest over the weekend.
Ooh, I did
I
that
also
too.
lost that. No surprise there.
What team were you?
I was Team Grub because I'm fat and I like food. And
Team Gear. Team Gear, baby.
The only reason I think Gear got picked is because a lot of Metal Gear fans were like Gear, Metal Gear. And that's the team I'm gonna go for.
Or Gear got picked because people know that when you're in the wild, that's the most important thing because you can procure your own food. And depending on the gear, you can have fun.
Eating your tiny ass little fish that's been God knows where. I'll be having my pizza and donuts and.
But what happens when the pizza and donuts are gone and you're on that island?
They didn't specify that. I am saying that it was an endless supply.
Well, hold on. You're saying you're lost on a desert island and people are just airdropping you like shrimp cocktails and fucking like Hawaiian pizza and all that.
Yeah.
All that weird shit that people younger than me eat.
Yeah,
like
it would just be a vacation. You're just trapped on a beach and you have infinite food. It sounds great.
John strikes me as someone who likes to create problems for himself, so he would like do like the hardest things ever to like make him work harder for it.
Yes, absolutely. Fucking
like,
absolutely.
He's the kind of guy who wouldn't use gloves to take something out of the oven. He'll just fucking like grab the fucking thing because he wants to like.
And then be like, "Why is it so hot? Why?"
No, he wouldn't. He would stand there. That's the thing.
I mean,
look, build endurance.
Britt, last year when we did our extra live stream, what did I do after I ate some garbage?
You went for a jog.
Yeah, I was like, fuck. I was like, I'm ruining the temple.
What? Honestly, I respect that, John. The grind doesn't stop just because you're fucking playing video games.
I didn't move that entire.
No, he didn't. Nobody did. Nobody but me did.
Justin, my man.
Nobody.
I moved around on the couch a bit, and then I said, "Fuck this," and I went on the beanbag. I drug that shit over, and I just laid on it.
And then the dogs laid on you.
John's gonna be my hero until he says something stupid. All right, let's time that.
I will never say something stupid, CJ.
We should place bets.
And time.
Yeah, done. All right, guys.
I will never fucking say something stupid.
That's a bold-faced lie. I'm gonna have to, to call it. Sorry, guys.
All right, CJ, since you're getting tipsy before the alcohol overtakes you completely, what have you been playing this week?
Two things.
I
wasn't here last week. I didn't get to talk about it. Played a lot of that Modern Warfare 2 open beta.
Did you play Soap McTavish? Was Soap there?
So no, I played a lot as Soap dressed as Ghost because that was a skin. That
Soap
was
Ghost.
In
there. Call of Duty's fun. Like, man, it was great. The 2019 Modern Warfare reboot's probably like my favorite shooter of last gen. Just because like it was like the only game that like kept me like hooked forever. Everyone has their thing. They have their destinies. They have their divisions. They have their Final Fantasy 14s, their World of Warcrafts. I don't have that game. Nothing is able to like keep me hooked for like that a long period of time, except for like Call of Duty because it's just the nature of the game, just that loop. The problem is those games don't have a long shelf life because they release like once every year. The fact that this one's like coming out and it's the only one for the next 2 years, I'm all in, 100%. It's a fun game. It's exactly what I wanted. Just a Modern Warfare 2019 reboot, a little bit prettier with a few like quality of life adjustments. Justin and I have been playing like a lot. The party chat's incredibly toxic. We're back to our.
Of course it is, dude.
2009 is back. I saw Avatar in theaters, and I came home to play Call of Duty and get cursed out by bunch of white kids. It's a beautiful thing. Got killed by a guy named Boricua, so even your own will get you. What else? The main thing about it is like Justin and we're playing with Sam Tolbert. The back and forth where I'm like just amazed by something in the game. Like they brought back the dolphin dive from the old Xbox 360 era games. They brought back a lot of specific things, and I'm in chat going, "Holy shit, this is awesome! Like this is really hitting like the nostalgia." And then getting incredibly pissed because some kid like one-shotted me with a shotgun from like a stupid distance. So I guess COD's back. angry and I'm happy at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like I
need to describe to you that like he was rapturous when he saw that you could do the dolphin dive, and then immediately somebody shot him with a shotgun, and he was furious. It was so great. Like I've never seen like somebody express that much joy and that much anger so close to each other while playing a video game as when CJ played his first match.
That's the duality of man right there. Perfectly balanced.
The best feature is they brought back the third person camera angle perspective. Sorry, but this time they worked around it where it felt natural in a way. The animation's much better. The actual, it takes a bit to adjust to the speed and to like the FOV depending on what you have it set, but it's incredible. It feels like a whole different game, kind of like you're playing SOCOM, kind of like you're playing Metal Gear Solid 5, just in the way everything moves. It is so damn good. I have already declared that I'm not getting shit done the rest of the year. October 28th, that is the after that, that's the only thing I'm doing. I kind of feel bad that I got to review Sonic Frontiers because I don't think I'll have time to like really put any time put any sort of effort on it. But I'm happy. I'm happy that I'm getting like finally like a big AAA game that'll like what's the word, that'll like keep me like engaged for like a while. And then the other thing I've been playing for review was embargo broke last week. It's Session skateboarding sim. It's a.
Oh, you're speaking Jeff's language now.
You know what?
I played quite a bit of that.
Jeff immediately unmuted. Did you see that? He immediately was like,
"Here we go."
Boom.
It's interesting. One of my all-time favorite games is obviously Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, but also EA. Nah, I don't think so. Also Skate 3 by EA. Incredible mix of like it's more it's more of a simulation than Tony Hawk because it uses like the triggers to like do flips and things like that in a more realistic fashion. But it's still like a game because it keeps track of your score. It keeps track of like of things that you're doing. Like you can build up combos and things like that. It's like as close to perfect as like any like game of that era could be. It's like the one of the greatest skateboarding games ever, one of the greatest sports games ever. EA's greatest, like their opus in my opinion. There hasn't been anything like that. Everything else kind of is either trying to mimic like the Tony Hawk style of like collectathon, really arcadey, really twitchy kind of game, or the other opposite direction, incredibly realistic. Session kind of falls in the latter, but it does some interest. It brings some interesting things to the table. It's incredibly hard. Like the game warns you. It tells you like this is a game that's meant. No. The warnings are like, hey, this game's meant is gonna be frustrating. You gotta like relax and kind of take it easy, which I appreciate. I love that the game's like it's gonna be inaccessible at first. You gotta like really pay attention. You really gotta like try to do this because each trigger controls a different foot. That takes a bit to getting used to if you're used to playing Skate 3, where it's
like anyone who's actually skated, it's like it's really representative of that experience where like the first time you try to do a trick, you spend like 3 fucking weeks doing the same thing for hours on end.
Those tutorials are no joke. They're rough. The closest comparison I can give it is like the same way like this is to skateboarding as Gran Turismo 7 is to driving. In that it really wants you to focus and relax. It wants you to appreciate the art of skateboarding.
I love when you sit in the cafe and Tony Hawk brings you the menu book with.
Yeah, he brings you the menu. Tony Hawk, Chad Muska, and they all bring you the fucking books. But no, Session's great. It respects skating. It's not. I wouldn't recommend it to everyone, unless you're like you truly love skateboarding. Unless you truly love like the culture, the things like that. If you're expecting Pro Skater, or hell, if you're expecting Skate, like EA Skate, you're not gonna have a good time. Me, I see this less as a game and more as like an actual like hardcore simulator. But it's still interesting. It's still the same sort of joy and rage that I felt playing Modern Warfare 2. I felt Christine was here watching me play it, and I was in one of the tutorials, and one of them was just to like.
Because he cares, obviously.
Because I'm trying to fucking like land a fucking grind and everything like that. The second I landed it,
bro, you can land
like
a grind
almost
without playing fucking a skating game.
Wow.
You have Christine over. Let's be real.
Wow.
No.
There it is.
None of that.
There it is.
Anyway.
There it is.
Anyway. Anyway.
Somebody timestamp
that joy of landing a trick unbeatable. It's like the same thing as like beating a boss in Dark Souls. Oddly enough, it's just that satisfaction, like, okay, finally, I fucking got this shit after like ages. After the game told me it's gonna be hard, I'll never get it. It's an interesting game. So I recommend it to those who like genuinely love Sims and can deal with it. What was the other? Jeff, you might know. What's the other? Isn't there another major skating sim that came out in like the last few years? It was Skater XL.
Not that I recall. Like yeah. There's been a couple snowboarding ones.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I can't
yeah.
remember the skating one.
Was it not the Senders? Was it the Senders that was like the big snowboarding one on Game Pass? I don't know. I am happy that we're like in this weird renaissance for extreme sports games. You know what I'm saying? We had Steep, we had the Tony Hawk remakes, we had Riders Republic, we had this one. We're in a good place.
That Kelly Slater's Pro Surfer reboot.
Oh my god, bro! Or Matt Hoffman's BMX, dude.
I just look. I want EA Sports Big to come back, and
you know what they? Oh my god! No, at the very least, remaster that 2012 SSX remake.
Yes, that shit was fucking awesome.
That underrated game. The vibes in that game are immaculate. When you're launching out of the helicopter the first time, and Flux Pavilions, I Can't Stop is playing as you're doing the fucking tricks. Incredible, absolutely incredible.
Speaking of SSX, if you like are craving that, it's not the reboot, but SSX 3 on Xbox backwards compatibility is like an amazing experience.
I never got around to playing that one, but I know it's like super cheap because it's.
You should try it if you've got a Series X. It's like 4K. It's updated 60 FPS. Like it plays and looks like amazing. It's so fun.
Still waiting for EA to email me my skate playtest code. I'm trying to.
There was one track in particular on SSX in 2012, and it was Youngblood by the Naked and Famous, and.
Good song.
And that shit, that was the first time I heard that song, and I just came out of that helicopter, landed on the snow, and that song kicked in, and I was like, "Oh, this is fucking outstanding!"
Or like Helena Beat by the Foster the People. Oh
yeah,
God, that game is 2012, like
royalty.
Oh my God, it's such go play SSX. It's on Game Pass. It's on EA Play on Game Pass. Even Xbox Series X or S.
Oh, that game is so fucking good.
Definitely. It's so good. It's
that
so
game
good.
is fucking amazing. All right.
I'm drunk. I'm out.
All right. See you later, CJ. Justin, what are you playing this week?
Oh, I went through like a million things last week, but I haven't really had much this week. I've been busy at work. I was, playing the Modern Warfare 2 beta a bit with CJ over the weekend, but I haven't really had much to play since then. So I covered a lot of stuff last week, so I cede my time.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Jeff.
I couldn't. My memory's so bad. I can't even remember what I'm.
Tell us about tell us about the Canadian Flight Simulator expansion.
Oh man, I love you, but nobody gives a shit.
No, that's not true, Jeff. I give a shit. I give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, it just came out today. I haven't played it much. There was like a big. Oh fuck, man, it's such a disaster. There was a big like overall update for Flight Simulator last week, but since I'm on Windows 11, it was like completely broken. Like actually, the Windows 11 update broke all games performance, like every game. Like it was just an NVIDIA issue. Like you just couldn't. Basically, every game was unplayable. So then NVIDIA released a new driver for that. But now the new driver, which was specifically released for Microsoft Flight Simulator, is actually causing it to crash constantly. So then there's that, and then on top of that, they released what's called a world update, which is like an overhaul to the Canada scenery and terrain, and it basically downgraded everything in it.
That
it's
sucks.
Like shit, and nobody's happy.
That's why I don't
want to spend time on that. Yeah, I haven't talked about what I've been playing in quite a while because I think one of the other shows I was on, we just had a big news week. So I played through The Last of Us Part 1, and I mean, obviously that's one of my favorite games of all time. I've kind of fallen out of just general violent games and shooter games and stuff, but this is one that still fucking hits for me. I love it. I don't have anything to say about it other than it looks phenomenal. It actually looks better than The Last of Us Part 2. And other than that, I understand they've there's accessibility improvements, and I know I know they've made changes to the AI behavior and pathing and stuff like that. To me, it's the same game, but it looks amazing.
But it straight up looks like a PS5 game, right?
Yeah. So
it's one of the best looking games out there right now.
From what I've been told, it's like any screenshot or any video on Twitter does not do it. Like even YouTube videos, it's one of those things you kind of got to see in motion.
I tried to just take a video of the water effects, like when you walk through the water and stuff, and like how it ripples and the water bounces and stuff, and like compression just like totally hid all of the details in it and stuff. So like it's one of those things you kind of actually have to see like running on your TV because it's like so much minute detail, but it looks fantastic.
See, I don't love that game that much, but I'm such a sucker for games that look nice that I'm willing to like pay $70 just to see that run on
It's
my.
pretty. Yeah,
on my
was it worth the $100 I paid for it? Absolutely not. Do I regret it? Absolutely not. So yeah, I just finished that.
Jeff, I got a question.
Jeff,
Jeff.
a good chunk of us are American. Can you keep it like home?
Sorry. That's like $5 American.
Jeff, I got a question about The Last of Us. Does in the remake, do your AI companions still like run right out in front of runners and stuff, or like
they
bandits?
The AI, the partner AI got a huge overhaul. Huge. Like they're way more useful in combat now. They're like actually good at like staying in stealth and sneaking around and stuff. Like that's one. I think that's one of the biggest improvements is like the partner AI.
So yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on Last of Us. Yeah, I finished that one and I'm just replaying part 2 right now, which means the PS5 version of it will probably be announced very soon. I'm probably going to be finished this in a week or two, so look for the announcement around that time. That's just kind of how it goes.
So I have a question. I want to ask you the same question I asked Justin last week.
Mm-hmm.
How is it playing this game after being in an actual pandemic? Like, does it hit different?
Yeah, I thought about that. I'm trying to think. Well, I guess The Last of Us Part 2 came out early in the pandemic, and that was like,
that's what.
Yeah,
Justin
that was pretty heavy. But I had a similar experience playing Death Stranding. I played that for the first time. I think it came out before the pandemic, but I was late to it.
Death Stranding is hits so different now than when it first shipped.
But yeah, it's definitely I was thinking.
It's a game I still need to play.
There's one point where Joel looks up at a billboard for a movie and is like, "Oh, this was the last movie I saw before the pandemic," and immediately I was just thinking of Sonic because that's like the last movie I saw. Like,
that's so fucking sad.
Somebody actually did do a Photoshop with the Sonic poster.
So yeah, it's pretty heavy. It took me. I mean, I'm still not, in the state I want to be in, but it's there's some things like the masks strewn on the ground and stuff like that. It's like, fuck yeah, this is pretty heavy. But what I actually wanted to talk about was I've played The Last of Us before. I've only played 2 games like that I hadn't played before this year, and one of which was Gran Turismo 7, which like, all right, it's a good game, but come on. So my actual, for sure, doesn't matter what else comes out this year. There's no doubt this is going to be my game of the year. It's called Unpacking. And
I've heard you talk about this.
This game is so fucking good, and I have no idea if anyone else would even like this. But
are you just unpacking shit?
Yeah. So that's what I thought. That's what I thought, John. Because you know me. I like boring games now. I want to fly a plane, and when I fly the plane, I'm not actually flying it. I'm just putting on autopilot and like watching YouTube and shit for 4 hours. So that's the kind of games I'm into right now. I want to farm, just want to water shit.
You want to farm. You want to just
do
like
the most tedious, most annoying, most boring shit.
You want to move into your new house, like you want to unpack some shit, like
Can't wait for the video game simulator where it's just you playing.
This is perfect. I was like, this is amazing. I'm taking a break from driving these stupid trains. And I'm just gonna unpack some boxes. All right, I'm just gonna take stuff out of a box and put it on a shelf. And I thought that's all the game was. I had no idea. Like, there's a lot more to it. So it actually has a really good story and a really good soundtrack. And I'm not. I think I'm a smart person, but when it comes to like storytelling, I'm pretty stupid. Like I always hear people talk about the amazing story in Dark Souls and Bloodborne, and I played those games, and I could not tell you like. I don't pick up on environmental details or storytelling. Like, I need you to give me a cutscene and take away the controls and give me subtitles and just give me like a 30-minute movie for me to like take in the story. So
thank you. Yes.
But this game's like amazing. I don't want to spoil in case anyone plays it because there is some like kind of big twist. But like for example, so it's basically just it takes place I think in the late 90s up until like 2018 or something like that. And sorry, Luna is here doing something. But you're basically at different stages in the person's life unpacking. So you start when they're a kid, and you go through like high school and college, and then like their adult life and stuff like that. But there's a lot you read into, in terms of like I never realized how much shit you can learn about someone from like the stuff that they have in their house. So, the types. For example, later in their life, you see a huge stack of children's books, and you're like, oh, why do they have 30 of the same children's book? Well, they were an artist when they were younger, and they actually became a children's book author. Like little things like that. Which
I was
is
gonna
really
say they
cool.
were a serial killer.
No, but and then there's like one where you move into like I guess the college areas or something like that. And I did the first 2 rooms, like unpacked everything, and then moved to the next level. And all of a sudden I noticed like, oh, they've got like pairs of shoes that aren't theirs. They've got towels that aren't theirs. Like maybe they moved in with like a boyfriend or something like that, because the main character's a woman. And then you get to like the bathroom and you notice there's like 8 bottles of shampoo and 5 toothbrushes and stuff. You're like, oh no, they're just packed in with a bunch of roommates. So there's like, it's really hard to put into words. There's like little details like that. And then there actually is like it's not really a spoiler. Like they move in with a boyfriend, and then you kind of can tell, oh, the next one they've moved back home. Oh, something. Oh my God, sorry, Christine's. Can you get out of here?
Why can't she be in there?
For anybody that's listening, the cat just got into what seems like a bag of chips.
No, Christine just tossed a reusable grocery bag. So, anyways, yeah, it's a short game. Well, it took me about 10 hours because it took a lot of time unpacking.
10 hours of unpacking shit?
It's like moving in real life, John.
Wow.
I mean, you could probably do it quicker. I'm very particular. It kind of scratched my like Animal Crossing itch. Like, you have a lot of freedom in terms of like what you can put on the shelves. You can move the books around. So it's like if you have a knack for interior decorating, you can spend like a shitload of time. And then there's like interesting stuff where like 98% of the stuff you can put wherever you want, but occasionally there's very specific rules. Like when you go to finish a level, it'll kind of like bleep at you that something's not in the right place. And so when you break up with your boyfriend, one of them is like, you can't have the picture of you 2 out on your dresser. It has to go in a drawer or like under your bed or in the trash or something like that. This is kind of
that's fucking great.
But yeah, I mean, you could probably finish it in like 5 hours if you just blow through it. And the music's really good, and it's got a really heartwarming ending. And I'd love to talk more about like the story because it's really good. I just really don't want to spoil it in case anyone goes in and gets the same surprise I did. So it's on Xbox Game Pass. You know, one of the best deals in gaming. Shout out to Phil.
Thank you, Phil. Uncle Phil. So, what I noticed something about him actually this morning. Why does he look in every picture he takes? He looks like he's still figuring out how to stand, like a normal human being. He's always at some
drunk all the time, John.
Right.
I imagine you have to be in that position he's in.
Right, like he's always leaning to one side. He's always, or like his back is twisted a weird way. Or like he's
showing off like the indie T-shirt he has on under his blazer. Come on.
Like I've got no personal, like this isn't a criticism of Phil. I just can't understand why he stands like that in every picture. It's like he's wearing 2 layers of clothes and he's not comfortable.
John, if you ever try to like just stand by yourself on a stage, it's really fucking hard. Awkward.
No, I'm talking like with like pictures of people.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Maybe he just doesn't like people.
I mean, I stand by myself all the time. Nobody fucking likes me.
John, you're a podcaster. No offense.
I mean,
right?
Look, no.
It's easier for you because
you don't know what the real world is like, John.
I know. I'm sorry.
You're not up on stage. You're not acquiring shit. Get out of here. You're not
holding a sledgehammer or a weed whacker. Try standing just with like empty hands, man.
You talk to Kojima once in a while. Maybe then you'll understand.
A man who's actually creating content online at this very moment. A man who's actually
fuck Kojima,
a content creator. Podcast Stranding coming soon.
Hey, like I'm saying, he's podcasting now. He's stepping into our territory.
He's got an exclusive. He's got a Spotify deal.
He's got that Spotify deal. He's getting that Joe Rogan money, man. We gotta get on that. We gotta get on that Kojima wavelength. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know why he didn't call his show Microphone Gear Solid. That shit was right there.
Because that's stupid.
That's fuck stupid. You.
That's
no, it's not.
Name.
It's not fucking stupid,
you.
CJ. No, fuck
it's
you,
CJ.
Name. You're sleeping in the fucking garage when you get here next month. How about that? I can't back that up. I would never do that to you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, all right, go ahead. I'm not gonna stay humble. Like,
I would do it. I would do it to Finn, but I wouldn't do it to you.
There we go. That's what I thought.
All right, let's go ahead and dive into some topics. First up, let's all pour one out for Stadia. If you've got a volume Jeff up and John down. Why is Jeff too soft? I can turn him down a little bit, I guess. and I'll turn myself down a little bit because I get it. People don't want to hear my fucking voice. I understand. Like quite honestly, I can't stand the sound of my own voice either. So I'll turn myself down a little bit. That's fine. I get it. I understand. All right. So anyway, Stadia. I hope that helps because that's the best I can do. Stadia.
Let's have a moment of silence for like the 5 people in the world who are affected by this closure. You know what I'm saying? What is it? Justin, let's pay some respects to the guy who keeps like quote tweeting you and like attacking you.
The
Stadiaphobia
guy?
Yeah, Stadiaphobia.
Yeah.
The
Stadiaphobia crew's real quiet today.
What are they? Suck it, motherfuckers!
Listen, I hate dunking on people on Twitter, and I don't do it because I'm a good boy.
You love it.
I don't do that.
About?
But anyway, I saw. Shut up. Anyway, I saw one that was like some guy confirming and asking if like Google, like, hey, you guys gonna close this shit down? And they're like, no, it's never gonna close.
Yes, in fucking
like,
July.
he was like so pumped. It's like, yeah, thank you. No one believes me or something like
that.
Yeah,
like
buddy.
And they were just like, they were like, we're not going anywhere, motherfucker. Like
they could have been vague. They could have, kept it like they could have reeled it because they had to have made this decision a while ago.
They could have been like, you know what, we're going to continue focusing on bringing you great games, great Stadia experiences. But they were like, no, we're not fucking going anywhere. We're staying right here.
I have a question. For the panel. How many? Like, do you think there are people who decided to forego buying a PS5 or a Series X to like invest in cloud in like
Absolutely. Yes, no, I do.
There are several of them.
Or dozens of us.
Absolutely.
No, dozens might be pushing it, but there are several.
There is
like that's fine.
Like the only thing I'll say about Stadia, just on that topic, is like, aside from those 3 people, it's like it's. And it's like maybe not for us, but it's like for the people it is for. I think it's like a secondary, like, oh damn, I'm not in front of my PS5 right now, but I need to like do some stuff in Destiny. It's a secondary option. But what killed them was their pricing, where you have to literally buy another
like,
copy
of
every game you want to play.
xCloud is like basically Game Pass just streaming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Microsoft kind of figured it out where it's like.
And on PlayStation, you can do remote play, where you can you're literally just playing the game on your console
you own already,
through your phone. Yeah.
I just, when this was announced,
exclusives too.
Like when this was announced way back when, it was instantly met with a wave of skepticism, except for this weird small crowd of people who, for the next 3 years, anytime you said, yeah, I don't think Stadia is going to make it, people who spent their lives searching for Stadia on Twitter and getting pissed off about people who didn't like it. And I have never seen people go to bat. Like, you want to talk about the fucking Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo, Sega console wars? No, fuck that. The Stadia, it's not a console, but the Stadia warriors are more vicious than anything out there.
Bros are insane, man. I'll tell you.
And it's you're no longer afraid of people with like the Kratos, Spider-Man, Lionel Messi, or
it's that little squiggle.
You're worried for those hey, bro, those are the fucking worst PlayStation fans ever.
Yeah,
fucking Lionel Messi like profile pics, they'll fucking get your ass. Anyone with the squiggle or like a blank profile picture, get out of there. You're dying.
Yeah.
They're gonna dox you. They're gonna
so these guys, these were the people who just bought into Stadia all the fucking way. Like, I'm selling all my consoles. This is the future is now, baby. Like, we're living in it. And here it is. And we all knew this was going to happen. It's actually happening sooner than I thought it would, to be perfectly honest with you. I thought this would keep going for a little while longer. I
mean, as soon as they gutted their like first party,
that was probably the writing on the wall.
It was a matter of time. Like
what I want to know, whose internet is that stable enough that they're completely 100% reliant on cloud gaming?
Also the thing about Stadia is like,
and where can I get it?
I mean, also the thing about Stadia is like, if you were doing like a 4K stream of a game, in a couple hours, you would use more bandwidth than just downloading that game would have taken, and then you could play it offline. Like,
weren't they more expensive on Stadia right?
Yes, I mean they were full price.
And the thing is, you couldn't adjust any settings. You're always playing the highest quality version of that game, meaning that it'll chug sometimes. What is like a Hitman was like absolutely almost unplayable on Stadia.
They usually had like a resolution and performance mode or something, but like the games also they just didn't, whatever was going on the servers, the games did not perform as they should have, like on a computer of that spec.
That was the other big barrier, I think, is like xCloud, for example. I think they use Series X blades, or like they use Xbox blades on the servers. So you get, I mean, they're basically on the back end, they're running on an Xbox, but on Stadia, I assumed these were just the PC versions of the game running on high-end PC hardware, but Stadia was actually a platform. So any of these games that run on Stadia, they actually had to be ported to Stadia. You couldn't just slap the PC version of every game onto a Stadia server.
What?
So it was like extra work from the devs just to get their system or their games on the service.
Okay, like, did we ever actually, like, what does Stadia mean? Like, to me, it always sounded like something I would go into a diner and order some coffee and be like, yeah, I need some creamer and 3 Stadias, please.
It's like
my coffee.
It's like, I can't remember if it's Greek or Roman.
Thank you, CJ. Thank you.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it's Greek or Roman, but it's like
Look it up. Stadium
like,
meaning.
Stadia.
Kind of like a Coliseum kind of thing, but it's
a sports
what
arena
stadium
with
is derived
tiers.
from.
Okay, so Stadia, a sport. It's a plural noun for stadium. Sports arena with tiers of seats for spectators. The problem is there's no audience for this. So that fucking arena will be empty. They really like showed their ass with that. All right, Amazon Luna, that's fine. No one has to see the moon. It's fucking stadium. You gotta fill it.
Like,
I don't think Luna has launched. I don't know what the deal with Luna is. I haven't heard about it in years.
I get ads for it. Christine keeps sending me emails saying, "Hey," because I use her Amazon account. She's like, "Do you want to play Assassin's Creed on your TV?" I'm like, "No, I fucking bought it."
Here's the thing that sucks for like the 20 Stadia owners out there too, right? Is that like
we keep adding more people. I think we're giving it.
I think it's 20. I think it's 20.
All right.
So these Stadia controllers will not fucking work on anything else. So now they've got these fucking useless Stadia controllers sitting around.
Man,
constantly remind them of their horrible investment.
The one thing that I do think is, I guess, a silver lining about this is Google is literally refunding everything.
Yeah.
Hardware and software. Like, which, I mean, that's a shocking move. I would not have expected that, but also I think it just goes to show probably how little money it was bringing in, that a company like Google would just be like, yeah, you can have this money back.
It's easy. Like, they look at like the 5 people and like, all right, I'll just send them like their money back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like one sheet of paper with like everyone who's ever bought one.
Yeah, well, it's like, that's the thing, right? Like, somebody on Twitter, CJ, was like, man, that's a lot of money. I'm like, yeah, but 10 people bought the fucking thing. So like,
how much is the console? How much is, because they're refunding you both the system and games you buy, which I think that's wild.
I think a lot of people bought like the Founders Pack, which is like 150 or 200 bucks or something.
So I mean, this is nothing for them.
This is also Google, right? Like, so like it could be several $1 million and it doesn't fucking matter, right? Like, that's
like pocket
that's
change,
pocket lint to them.
And they're probably also getting some kind of tax write-off thing.
Yeah,
so.
like
the HBO Max method.
Yeah, the HBO Max strategy.
Yeah,
I mean, look, like we all made a ton of, not we all, but a ton of us made the joke when this thing was announced. It's like, oh, it's a Google product; it'll be dead in 3 years, and here we fucking are. Like, I just
3 years later.
Yeah, 3 years later, we're here, and the thing is shutting down.
3 years longer than Babylon's Fall lasted.
The Dreamcast lasted longer than this fucking thing did. And
Wii U lasted longer, but not Babylon's Fall. Like you said, Battleborn I think lasted longer.
Battleborn lasted, yeah, fucking Battleborn, man. So I guess in retrospect, like look, people are gonna lose their jobs because of this, and like, all joking aside, that's never a good thing, right? Like that's never a good thing.
A lot of people have moved on from Stadia.
I'm sure they have.
A lot of people. Like, they were really losing. I mean, obviously the gutting of the first party studios was a big thing for it, but like, I think internally the writing has been on the wall for a lot of people.
Everyone
for sure.
A lot of people.
Like, my question is this: is there anyone who's going to be able to be like the fourth console manufacturer? Or is it kind like, you know what I'm saying? Because everyone's trying to dip their toes into like this, right?
I mean,
No,
I don't
These big
think
tech, these
so.
big
I don't
tech companies.
think so.
The
It's like-
think about the last big tech company to like jump into the console game and be successful was Microsoft. I'm saying they're still an institution. Are we going to keep seeing like other companies? I guess Apple's the close.
I think there's gonna be a fourth. I have no idea who.
The thing is, like, all of the
It's
tech
going to be.
companies that
Oh, go ahead,
could
Justin. I'm
do-
sorry.
all of the tech companies that could do it, I don't think are willing to put up the money and the losses for as long as they would have to actually build like hardware and a platform and a first party.
I
It
think
takes a long time and a lot of money and a lot of recruitment to build
Yeah.
up like
Look
an
at
actual
Apple-
gaming
Apple is-
division.
they only just now are like, you know, getting a really big stable of first party studios, and it took them decades.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like Apple's doing it with like the Apple Arcade push, where it's like they curate curate games but like you don't need to own anything for that. You just need your phone. You know what I'm saying? It's just interesting that like no one else is like, fuck it, we're gonna make a new console.
No, man.
You know,
No.
When's the Ouya 2 coming out? When is
No.
the fucking like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
CJ, it's gonna be the next big console is gonna be from a company that none of us expect, like fucking Roku or something, right? Like Roku. Like Roku's gonna
they're
make
gonna
a fucking...
make a game. They're gonna make a game about the Roku City. I'm in.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, the metaverse in Roku City.
Yep,
Let's
that's
go.
it.
100%.
That's the fucking
9/11
one right
never
there,
happened
dude.
in Roku City. Like, it's a perfect utopia. It's perfect utopia.
Jesus Christ, CJ. Yeah, it's gonna be Roku or like, you know, like Qualcomm or like Nokia.
Like
or
TCL. There's something. Oh my god.
AT&T, the AT&T box. Like that's what we're gonna be
Oh
playing
my God.
5 years from now.
Well, because like the way I see it, I think it's just gonna be like the established ones are just gonna piggyback off like whatever devices are out. You know what I'm saying? It's like I
The
assume
Verizon box.
waiting outside your fucking Sprint like dealer, and you're gonna get your fucking like console from them.
Man, I've been lining
but
up for days for this shit.
But like I said, like I think the way it's gonna be now, I assume it's like everyone's just gonna piggyback on whatever. Like Amazon will keep releasing. What's that MMO they have? New World is
New
so, like,
World.
They're gonna release it on PC. It'll like be fine there. Apple will still do Apple Arcade because they get all these really weird exclusivity deals. And also, Apple Arcade is what Stadia should have been, a subscription service that grants you all these games.
Apple Arcade also has like an important niche within mobile gaming,
Yes.
whereas it still is focused on like a premium complete experience
100%.
versus like these bite-sized like free-to-play games with in-app purchases.
And it also works. And it also works on an Apple TV with the controller, like with any control. Like that's my thing. Like that works because it you don't need to buy another box for it. If you have an iPhone, you're in. You just pay $5 a month. It's basically Game Pass for iPhone.
Yeah, and there's really high quality stuff on there.
There is.
Actually, Netflix is kind of doing some of that too with their mobile offerings.
Into the Breach got like a DLC that was like that launched on Netflix.
Wait, what?
You know what I'm saying? Yes.
Okay, yeah, so this is the thing. Netflix actually has a really nice selection of mobile games. If you are a Netflix member, you can download and you go on your phone, there's a place for games, and you like they've got like stuff like Into the Breach. They bought the studio behind Oxenfree.
That's fucking weird.
No, but it's like mobile games, like high quality stuff like Apple Arcade on like your phone, which is incredible.
And it's just included in your Netflix sub, but like they don't talk about it at all. It's really weird.
We lost Britt. She's gone. She had enough of our bullshit, to be honest with you.
She'll be back.
She'll be back. I think she'll be back. Who knows? Maybe she will. I hope she is. So apart from Stadia going belly up, heels to Jesus, they're done. What else happened? Like, it's been honestly a pretty slow fucking week for games news. We kind of, I just saw something really funny. We had been looking for stuff to cover before we went live here, and it's just been
How do I turn this off?
Is this
I'm
about
so-
the SDGC Christmas party? Because I swear to
No, I
fucking
don't know how
God.
to turn it off.
Okay,
no,
so for
no.
everybody
Why would you turn this off, Britt?
For everybody listening,
Can I
Britt
get the
has a new
Griffin House
background
back?
up, which is is Willem Dafoe and the Green Goblin.
And I love that pose that the Goblin's in, because without the glider in the picture, it looks like he's like squatting down to take a shit right in the middle of the street. Like,
Britt, you should upload the Griffin living room in your background, because I can't do it.
Man, I need to start doing background. Like, Britt, why would you change that? No. Oh.
I went into my settings, and I guess it changed to my Christmas
Put the Griffin
settings.
living room. Put the Griffin
What's
living
the Griffin
room.
living room? Oh,
From
like
Family Guy.
Guy.
From Family Guy.
Family. There we go. Put the Griffin living room. This is useless for our listeners, but they gotta. I need this for me.
All right, hold on.
All right, Britt's gonna. While Britt's doing that, we had been kind of brainstorming for topics tonight, and unfortunately, we weren't able to come up with much, simply because it has been such a slow week.
Do we think it's gonna stay slow like the next couple weeks?
I mean, there's a lot of games coming out.
There's a lot of games coming out. Apparently,
It's like the calm before the storm.
Overwatch 2 is coming out in a few days, and I had no fucking idea.
Holy
I'm
shit,
hyped.
yeah.
I'm fucking
forgot.
hyped.
Is it like early access, or is it just like out?
It's out,
okay,
right?
It's technically early access, but it's the complete multiplayer. It's just the PvE stuff isn't gonna be out until next year.
I
But
don't.
The PvE stuff is like what
sit
the
at
new
a three
exciting
quarter.
stuff
Sit at a 3/4 angle, Britt, please.
Oh
Now
my
you look like a
God.
fucking Family Guy character. Incredible.
Wow, this is amazing. That's amazing. That's legitimately
Holy
amazing.
crap, Lois.
Oh no! All right, shut her down.
This is all you need to keep CJ happy, by the way.
Yeah, like CJ's a
Wait,
simple
let me tell
man
you
with
guys a
simple
story.
taste.
Okay, so Justin always DMs me some funny ass shit. He sent me this like fucking Family Guy themed post a couple days ago. I think like yesterday, the day before. Today I'm out, running errands. I get a DM from Derek. Same exact post, and I tell him that's funny, but Justin already sent that to me, and Derek responds, "That's exactly what I feared. That Justin beat me to the punch." My brand is incredibly strong at this point. The two members of SDGC will send me fucking cursed Family Guy shit on Twitter.
Well, now CJ, now there's
Yeah.
Okay,
so for listeners, Brit is on the is her background is the King of the Hill fence. You got to say yup.
I was gonna say yup.
Yup.
Damn it, Bobby! I can't sell propane or propane accessories with CJ screaming in my ear.
We don't have topics, right? We just go fucking savage.
I'm gonna subscribe to Discord Nitro right now. I'm gonna sit in the fucking Griffin. This fucking Griffin living.
We need somebody who can do a good Boomhauer impression on this podcast.
Dang on.
We need a good
Good-
Dale and a good Boomhauer.
Dang old man, tell you what, man, we'll to the store with that shit, man. Go down to the liquor store, come on back, man. I eat some corned
Okay, so
beef.
you
Man.
know
I
what's
don't know what
funny
happened.
is I
Put your bets in chat if you think we can do another 28 minutes of this.
we absolutely can.
Oh, we fucking, of
So,
course we can.
I have been having King of the Hill on in the background because FX plays it from like noon to like 3 until Simpsons comes on. And it's really because my hearing is so awful now, and especially now because I'm sick, I have subtitles on, so I read everything. And it's so funny to be able to understand what Boomhauer says. Like, it's like, it makes
Holy
the show
shit,
10 times funnier.
I need to
The-
do
the
that.
It makes
the-
the show 10 times funnier.
Because like
it's
they'll filter in and out. Like they'll say one word that you kind of don't get, and then the rest is like unintelligible dialogue or like ellipses.
Or it'll be an actual full-on sentence.
Don't you get the whole sentence?
It's
Hulu
like-
doesn't have it.
I could just like, I
No,
just picture Boomhauer subtitles as like random letters and then like the word ribeye and then more
And
random.
then
like
Mike Judge just reads it.
yeah,
he
like
was,
there's no meaning behind any of it at all.
There was that
That's-
episode where like they were like flashbacks to different events, like like a Rashomon episode, and then Boomhauer's whole like flashback was everyone else speaking like him, and he was the only one speaking normally. He was like, "God dang it! I've been trying to read this thing this whole day."
Fantastic piece of television.
What I want to know is, are there any?
The Sopranos is no longer prestige television. Actually, King of the Hill. It's it
Are there
transcends
any?
politics.
Are there any? The critic connoisseurs on this
Oh, I love the
podcast.
critic.
I've never
Oh.
watched. That's like the most
Oh,
CJ show
CJ,
ever.
CJ,
I know.
CJ.
I know. John Lovitz playing a fucking like film
Film
critic.
critic?
That's my life.
There's CJ. The greatest critic moment in the history of the show is when Jay Sherman, that's the critic, he takes his son Marty to the mall to do kung fu lessons, and he says, Kung Fu, I think you're gonna love this. Like, it's gonna teach you physical and mental discipline. This will be great. And so Marty's sitting there in the class, and the sensei's walking around. He says, Kung Fu is about uniting your mind and body into one being. And and Marty's like, wow, that sounds great. And he goes, young Marty, your first opponent is Satoshi, the eater of souls. And they bang on this fucking gong, and this door opens, and this enormous, like, fiery Oni walks out. And he's just like,
I gotta watch the critic.
Who has disturbed my 1,000-year slumber? Dude, the fucking critic. I cannot believe you have not watched that.
That show doesn't exist. No, that show, because it's impossible to find. It's not it's not streaming anywhere.
Just watch it on YouTube. They got like whole episodes on YouTube.
Bro, I'm gonna get drunk and watch the critic.
Dude, the critic is fucking incredible.
They gotta put Duckman is great. They gotta put that on a streaming service.
The Tick was one of the funniest
phenomenal
fucking cartoons I've ever seen.
Because it's the Venture Brothers guys, pre-Venture Brothers.
Hawk, if you love justice, like
Derek was here. I want to talk.
Oh man, like this. Yeah.
So what you're saying, John, is essentially you're just the Tick.
But I don't love
John
justice.
Is the Tick.
Well, no, I take that back. I love justice. I would absolutely fucking honk.
Justice.
I absolutely would fucking honk for justice. Which means I spend all day in my car honking the horn endlessly wherever I fucking go.
Recording YouTube videos about why women are ruining Star Wars.
Absolutely.
I have a question. So we're closing out the year, right? Like we're getting towards the end.
We are closing out the year.
We're in fall. It's gonna be winter soon. The holidays come and go. What are we predicting are gonna be our favorite games like for the next few months? I know I asked for the year what our games. No. I said what our game of the years are gonna be, but what do you think in the next few months?
Oh,
your favorite game is.
I mean, I already know what my game of the year is, but the game that I'm
Babylon's Fall.
No, the game that the game that I am most looking forward to for the rest of the year is Tactics Ogre Reborn.
Okay.
Wait, no, I take that back. Two of them. There's two of them. Tactics Ogre Reborn and the Callisto Protocol.
Also, Jeff and CJ weren't here last year, so last podcast, so I'd be interested to hear their takes.
Gentlemen.
Okay, Jeff. Well, Jeff, you talked about your game of the year already. You want to say?
No, not game of the year.
Not game of the year, you ignoramus.
Rest of the year.
Forward to.
Hey, drunk and I'm distracted by the fucking King of the Hill background.
Go ahead, CJ. You go first.
Yep.
What am I answering? What am I answering? Because
What game are you looking forward to?
What game are you looking forward to the next few months?
Oh, the next few months, Sonic Frontiers and Modern Warfare 2.
Oh,
Those
fuck.
are the two, like
I forgot Sonic Frontiers is coming out.
Oh my god, come on. Like, here's my thing. No one should ever listen to me about video game shit because everyone's talking about fucking God of War, Callisto Protocol, all this fucking bullshit. Get out of here with that. You put a blue hedgehog in an open world.
What are you talking about? I'm talking about like Tactics Ogre. I'm right there with you. I'm talking about shit that other people aren't talking about.
Yeah, all right, but you're not talking about Sonic. You're not.
I'll play Sonic. I'll play Sonic.
But like that's like the big one for me. But the thing is, it doesn't count necessarily because I'm getting that for review, so it's not going to be as like impactful because I'm not like actively looking forward to buying it. So for that's going to be like Modern Warfare 2.
Who got Life is Strange to review last year? Wasn't it you?
That was
Jeff.
Yeah.
No,
Jeff.
Yeah. I reviewed it. I reviewed it for Game Critics. I didn't get it for here, but same thing. That was my game of the year.
Jeff reviewed it for us last year.
Yeah.
I reviewed it for Game Critics. That was my game of the year.
Sped run it so I could do the discussion with you guys.
But it's Modern Warfare 2 and Sonic, and I talked a lot about Modern Warfare 2, but it's like there is nothing I'll be playing like that. Warzone 2 launches like 4 days after my birthday. I'm canceling all my plans. Fuck it. I'm not seeing my family for like months at that point. Holy shit! My only family's gonna be Justin at this point because we're gonna be playing that shit for like ever.
I'm really excited for Pokemon, and I'm really excited.
Oh, I'm excited for that too. Yeah.
I'm excited for Pokemon. It has a duck on there. I gotta buy a Switch.
So
you don't have a Switch?
So
I have a light.
I just
That's
tried
a Switch?
Googling games that are coming out this year because I don't like video games anymore. Not a lot of new.
You're
stuff.
on a great podcast then.
Yeah. Not okay. So not a single new game I'm excited for, but
You're not a God of War fan? Like I pinned you as a God of War fan.
I was talking about this earlier in the Discord. Like Horizon Zero Dawn and God of War on PS4, like two of my top 5 games of last gen. Now, I'm just not in. I watch it and I see like the fighting and the violence. And I'm like, it's not. I don't know. Something.
You don't like
giant
Kratos ripping.
robots.
You don't like Kratos like ripping like a fucking werewolf
like,
in half. Like that
objectively,
shit
it looks amazing. It's hard to explain. Like I'm just a totally different person than I was 2 years ago now, and like
That's
and it's like frustrating because like I love those games.
Which is funny because you're fucking playing Last of Us right now.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I said that's like kind of an anomaly. But
I like that Jeff
Horizon,
grew, and I'm still like, yeah, man, fucking blue hedgehogs are fucking.
So no, fall and winter are coming. So even though there's not a lot of new games, so fuck. Okay, the one thing I'm trying to hold out on is fucking Disney Dreamlight Valley, and I took shit for,
good.
Hold up, I took shit for this because whatever showcase that was announced on, it was like a complete like side note. Whoever we were talking about, if we were live streaming that, I don't know if it was a Nintendo Direct. Everyone was like talking about all these other fucking like stupid games.
No,
like
Jeff,
Metroid,
I was right there with you. I was right there.
And
with
I was like, actually, Disney Dreamlight Valley is the standout, and I got like, what? Okay, but
no,
so
don't let anybody criticize you for that, Jeff. You love what you love.
Last week, I talked extensively about Disney Dreamlight Valley and how much I love it and how
Is it
much
on Game Pass?
How much? Yeah, it is on Game Pass.
It's early access, and I do not play early access games because what happens is I just burn out on them, and I never go back. And then I miss out on like all the shit. Like obviously, I hear it's really good in early access, but obviously in a year from now, it's gonna have a lot more stuff and it's gonna be more so like,
Jeff, it being on Game Pass doesn't like do anything for you to just like try it out, like and just be like, all right.
No, because once he tries it, he won't stop.
I know I'm gonna love it. That's not the issue. I know I'm gonna sink like 100 hours into it.
Maybe I just hate games. I don't know.
But so I'm trying to hold off. We'll see if but yeah, like fall and winter.
It's a very, very good game, and so it almost feels like Animal Crossing in the way that you can do everything. You can upgrade your house, you can upgrade your stores, but like the little updates that Animal Crossing came out with, where they give you additional content and characters. That's what the additional content is gonna be. Like the full game is gonna be. So the way I look at it is I get the base game right now, and then everything else that's coming is just like bonus add-on. Like you can unlock everything right now. You can unlock all the areas. You just can't technically beat the game because you don't have all the characters. You can't do all the story stuff, but I mean, you can pretty much do everything, and it's very, very fun and chill. But yeah, play how you want. But I know you're gonna love it. I love it. It's fantastic.
Well, all right. So if I don't cave on that, I was gonna say I'm either gonna jump back into Animal Crossing or Final Fantasy 14 because I've been.
You should do 14. 14
you should absolutely
really
do 14.
Good.
Never heard of that game. What is it?
Yeah.
Jeff, Jeff, I'm telling you, man, you are. Oh, Britt, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just gonna say the story is very good that you catch up on. It doesn't it definitely feels like the same place as Shadowbringers as far as like the gaps in between. Like, cause sometimes when you finish a main storyline, the story in between the expansions doesn't really feel meaty and fulfilling, but this definitely does. And it's really.
I didn't expect that because it's like, kind of like we just wrapped up that whole thing. I was like, okay, it's gonna take a while to like.
No,
really,
it's right into the.
Yeah, it picks up and it's very good. It's and they introduce a new character that I fucking love.
Zero.
Yeah, well, don't tell him.
He doesn't know anything about it.
I don't know who Zero is.
It's a so without
don't tell me.
No, I'm not. Without giving anything away. What makes this new batch of story interesting is that it is the first time, and I'm not going to tell you which game, but it is the first time in every from the entirety of Final Fantasy XIV, it's the first time that elements and characters from actual like numbered Final Fantasy games are major factors in the main storyline.
Well, you already told me it was the Final Fantasy IV guy is like one of the main.
Oh, that's not a spoiler. That's literally all over the place.
Okay, yeah.
But it goes to some very cool places. And it's definitely
and it has good development for certain characters.
And the music, man,
new characters that just got introduced. The music's really good. It's all just really good, and the primal fight, the new one, is really fun. So Jeff, do you play on keyboard or controller?
controller, 100%.
So I'm trying to learn controller right now, and it's the hardest fucking thing. Because I was a keyboard player for 9 years, and
I
switching
love
to
playing with a controller.
I genuinely think it's good. Like keyboard's obviously like objectively more flexible, but I don't know. I think controller. But I went in controller from day one, so I think that'd be a hard adjustment. But I don't know.
So
with it.
Jeff, I'm telling you, man, you are sleeping on Harvestella.
I'm not gonna play that game, John.
Dude, that shit is right. No, do you know what it is?
I know, but it's just too anime, John. It's just like too.
Dude, it's
Hell
a farming sim.
And I'm like,
that's what I'm talking about.
It's a farming
Don't let
sim.
John influence your game. Just tell him off straight up. You're not gonna play whatever shit he recommends. I love that, Jeff.
It's a fucking
insubordination.
I'm telling you, man. Just Jeff, you're sleeping. You're sleeping on it, man. That game is right up your fucking alley.
You know what, John? I'll do you a favor. I'll go watch a trailer with an open mind.
Download the demo.
Yeah.
Download the demo.
So here's what, Jeff. I am also over the weeaboo anime phase. As much as I love anime, I don't like anime video games, which is why I've avoided Star Ocean and Persona, as well as what is that?
Xenoblade Chronicles.
I was gonna say Xenogears, and I was like, that's not. I was gonna say Xenogears and Xenosaga, and I'm like, no, that's not right. None of those are right. And I will let you know because I plan on playing Harvestella. I will let you know if it's too anime or if it's a good farming sim game.
I can get over the aesthetic. I'm being facetious. Like I can get over the aesthetic if it's not like, you know what I mean? If it's not that kind of game.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm interested. Oh,
quick
question then. On that note, because this has come up before, is Final Fantasy anime?
It is. Man,
well,
listen,
no, I don't think so.
Depending on the game.
Go off,
depending
CJ,
on the
just
game.
go off,
no,
buddy.
depending on the game. This shit is fucking anime as fuck, and you guys are all like denying it because just because it looks photorealistic does not make it any less anime. My cousin beat the 7. He just beat it recently, and I haven't yet because
7 is anime.
Yeah,
no,
7
is fuck. That game is anime. You summon a fucking demon dog from the fucking sky. That shit's anime as fuck.
You summoned a demon dog?
Isn't that one of the summons? It's like this dog that like a wolf or something that like punches things.
You talking about?
I don't know names. It's fucking Final Fantasy, dude. I don't know.
You talking about
what's the first summon you get in 7 remake?
In 7 remake, I think it's Ifrit.
Not the giant wolf demon thing, or is it like a demon? I don't know.
Maybe I'm conflating.
Yeah,
no,
there's no wolf with a
no.
summon from. Okay, then I'm conflating with the summon from 10. I think you get a wolf in 10.
I'm so fucking lost.
Ifrit is a wolf.
No, Ifrit is not a wolf. He's a demon. He's an Ifrit.
In 10 he is.
No, he's not.
Okay,
he's not a wolf.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing.
He's not a wolf in 10. Look it up right now. Look up Ifrit in Final Fantasy 10 right now. Britt is determined, but she's wrong on this one. He is not a fucking wolf.
Here's my thing. Final Fantasy is.
Wolf.
He is not a wolf.
Fuck off, chat. Let's
almost
get
in chat says he's like a buff wolf.
He is not a fucking wolf.
Oh no, he's not a wolf.
Yeah, he's not a wolf at all.
Like a wolf. All right, we got 2 for wolf.
He has horns.
Yeah, like
he's a demon wolf. Demons have horns.
He is not a fucking wolf.
Look at that.
All right, I'm gonna look at it right now.
Final Fantasy 10.
That is not a wolf. What wolf looks like that?
Let me see this shit. I don't.
He's got no what
kind of weird wolves do you guys have?
Yeah, like fucking, you're giving Jeff this weird idea of America. Like
in Miami, those things just come up to you all the time.
Jeff's like, are these the wolves in America? I'm not coming there. Like,
no, they're not American ones because they would have like AR-15s on them.
He's got horns.
They're the harmless,
and they'd be holding a Mountain Dew.
And right. He's got horns and arms and legs. And that's not a fucking wolf.
I'm looking for
Anyway, we're missing the point. Final Fantasy is anime as fuck, and you're all wrong. You're denying it. Because John doesn't want to admit it. John doesn't want to admit it because then he would have to come to terms with his favorite thing in the world being anime. It's rough.
No, not really. I don't really care.
Right then, I was wrong. I read that wrong.
You were absolutely fucking wrong.
I'm wrong.
You were absolutely fucking wrong, sir.
Can you imagine all this in a room? Like,
oh, it's gonna be great, dude. No, we're not gonna have to imagine in a few weeks. What was that, Brett?
Can we talk about something that's new that I don't? Okay, so we have Overwatch coming out, right?
Unfortunately.
Well, today the new WoW expansion just got announced for a date, which is the 28th of November.
What's it called?
And I'm like, that's Dragonflight.
Dragonflight. Okay.
And I'm like, baby, that's prime fucking Pokemon Ragnarok real estate. Like, I don't know if I could commit to a new MMO there.
I mean, you haven't. I mean, haven't you? Didn't you? Haven't you like stepped away from WoW for like a long time now? Like,
I did, and then when my friend passed away, I went back, just because he got me into WoW initially, and it just felt good being in the world that we explored together. It just brought back a lot of memories. I went back for a few months, and then I canceled. And this new expansion got announced, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna play it fresh because he was a big WoW fan. He worked at GameStop. He did all the midnight launches for WoW. He always got the big collector's edition boxes, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking play this time. I'm gonna play a WoW expansion day one launch. But now I'm just like I said, it's prime Pokemon God of War real estate time. Like, I don't know if I want to, one, buy a game, and two, put a sub on top of that when I'm already doing 14.
Yeah.
So, but it's interesting. This launch has been very controversial because it's been very different than their other expansions. Like, they had a beta way late. Um, it's Blizzard obviously has issues.
do you think
And
there's
I
any?
think that's
I'm sorry, Britt. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say that's a big topic. That's I feel is going on Twitter right now. Is there a lot of people are conflicted because Overwatch 2 is coming out and there's a big WoW expansion coming out, and people are like, what's changed? People are wanting to go back to Blizzard products, but they want a list of like things that have changed or are changing. So to me, that's good. At least people are being mindful of the choices that
I
they're
kind of
making.
assumed everybody had moved on, so I'm happy to hear that like people are still, regardless of which
like skeptical,
route
yeah.
they take or like what decisions they make, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's nice that their awareness is still there.
Man, that's another fucking topic. Look, you got 10 minutes, but like where there's like this lack of nuance in game releases because what is the Cyberpunk rehabilitation's like been ridiculous, right?
Yeah, it really has.
Where everyone's talking about the wrong things. They're all talking about like the wrong things. The same thing happened when Far Cry 6 came out.
They fixed the bugs. It's like, okay, but
bro, sure,
like,
man. You can't patch racism. I don't fuck.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You can't patch transphobia.
No, I've had conversations with people, and they're like, what's wrong with Cyberpunk? How is it like culturally racist? And I'm like, you have an Asian gang called the fucking Tigers. Right? You have a Mexican game called the Valentinos.
Aren't they all wearing like aren't they wearing like bandoliers and shit too?
It's
like it's
bad.
fucking
Look,
like
my issue
play the
is
game, enjoy the game, but
look,
like
that's
just
my thing.
acknowledge it. Just fucking admit it.
Like my people are all like their reason for playing a game is like this gotcha to critics and people who like don't want to play. It's like this thing where it's like I'm more enlightened because I'm playing this game because I saw what it was even at its worst like state when it launched. Same thing happened with Far Cry 6 launch. Everyone's whole argument was this game is dumb, but I know it's dumb, so I'm better for playing it.
Galaxy
people who
brain
think
shit.
Like, and it's like, yeah, but no one's complaining that it's a dumb fucking game. Everyone's complaining because it's fucking racist. You guys gotta fucking relax.
And like,
there's.
Well, look, I was just gonna say, like, play Cyberpunk, play, if you want to play the Harry Potter game, go play the Harry Potter game.
Go fucking play it.
But like Harry Potter is very important to some people, right? Like, but at least understand the problematic nature of a lot of what you're enjoying. Like nobody's saying you can't play and enjoy these things, because like ultimately playing, for example, like playing Cyberpunk is not going to make you a racist. Playing the Harry Potter game is not going to make you a TERF. I'm not going to play those games, but I'm not going to shit on anyone who does. But also understand that what you're playing was conceived in something or by someone with a very ugly set of moral principles. It's like, this is an old example, but it's like Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim was one of my favorite fucking games back when I was a kid, right? But the creator of that fucking game is just a virulent, misogynist, bigot, racist. Like, he's awful. Doug TenNapel. He is fucking terrible. And like I fired up Earthworm Jim on the Nintendo Switch the other day because it's on NSO now, and And I was playing it for a little while. I was like, man, this feels great again. But then I remembered fucking Doug TenNapel, and I was like, do I really want to play this? And like that's a decision that you have to make on your own. I don't think it's fair to call anybody, and I don't think it's fair to call anybody a turf for buying the Harry Potter game. That being said, I do think it's important that you understand just how many people J.K. Rowling is hurting with her beliefs, because I mean she's got a platform of millions and millions of people, and so just understand that the thing you're enjoying doesn't necessarily come from the greatest place in the world. And
that's my thing too. It's like,
and also just don't be like shouting from the hilltops how good something is, even if you enjoy it. Like without without acknowledging stuff, and just never mentioning any issue with it if you're taking on something like this.
I realize that's hypocritical. That's hypocritical of me specifically, because I was just singing the praises of Modern Warfare 2's beta. Look, fuck Activision. They're fucking terrible. They gotta change. They gotta fucking shape up 100%. And a lot of those COD teams are fucking terrible. Also, they gotta shape up as well. That community is fucking terrible. That's the thing. I'm not gonna unabashedly love something. There's gotta be more nuance in that conversation. What I realized during the Cyberpunk release cycle is that you can drop a game that's incredibly racist and fucking transphobic, but as long as it launches well, no one's gonna get mad. You know what I'm saying? Right. Once you piss off the gamers,
yeah. Well, and that's the thing about J.K. Rowling is it's like, you could argue that Cyberpunk and everything isn't outwardly racist, right? Like they're not outwardly using slurs, they're not outwardly
they're just Polish.
Right.
They're
not outwardly being racist, but J.K. Rowling just released a book under a surname where she writes about essentially being canceled for being a feminist, right? So it's like J.K. Rowling, you can't misconstrue what she's saying or what she's doing. She is straight up is a transphobic person, and she's just awful. And if you're going to play a game that is, based off of her creative mind, you need to be aware of that. And I again, no judgment. But I think if you're going to play that game, you have to realize that there are certain people that may feel uncomfortable by that. There are certain people who don't want to be associated with that kind of thing. And it's like, do what you want, do what makes you happy. But like everybody else says, like, don't fucking rave about how awesome and great it is. Like, you have to be conscious of what you're doing. Like when I was playing WoW, I didn't talk about it on the podcast. I didn't talk about it on Twitter. Like, I did it for me and not for anybody else. I did it for me. And when you do something for yourself, I don't think that, even if you're enjoying it, I don't think that you should be talking about how much you're enjoying it when it is problematic. And so it's okay if you like these things. It's okay if you enjoy these things. Just be conscious about the things you're supporting, and just be conscious about your friends and the people around you that could be affected by what you're doing. And
have some nuance, please. God,
right, exactly.
God, don't fucking call me an idiot because I don't like your fucking dumbass racist game. Just fucking
it just reminds me, somebody I know who way back when J.K. Rowling revealed that Dumbledore is gay, this is a long time ago, and this person was like, oh, of course, right, because everything's got to be gay now, and so now Dumbledore is gay, and why does it matter? Why should it matter? The whole time I'm like, well then if it doesn't matter, why are you complaining? But this, it's the liberal agenda. It's the liberal agenda. And now 12 years later, when now that J.K. Rowling is a turf, this same person is like, man, that J.K. Rowling sure does tell it like it is, tells it straight, and I gotta say I really respect that about her, and I'm like, wow. That's people are fucking strange. Life is strange, you could say. But we are winding down our time here. We are at an hour and a half, so we're going to go ahead and call it a day. In just a few weeks, 3 weeks and a little bit of change, for the first time ever, this entire cast is going to be in the same room doing a big, huge stream for a national charity abortion, or for a national abortion charity. We're going to be doing 2 12-hour streams 2 days in a row. Going to be a lot of drinking. There's going to be a lot of snacks. There's going to be a lot of bullshit. Oh, come on. It's going to be even Justin's going to be drinking, but he's going to be drinking like a shitload of Mountain Dew. But he will be drinking something. Like
Justin's gonna do the
like
do.
Fluids will be entering.
I'm gonna
Justin's
live
body.
Moss.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
There you go. That's fucking great, Justin.
Pure
That was
maple
mint.
syrup the whole time.
Oh, because you're Canadian.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Please be sure to tune into that. It's going to be a really good time. We're going to have some punishment tiers for everyone to do.
Right. If you have
shit.
any punishment ideas, any kind of ideas that you want to see us do, please let us know.
Yeah.
In the
please.
Discord. Hold
Yep.
on, I'm gonna
I'll drink for any excuse. You show me a picture of a duck and have me identify that duck. I'll drink that.
wait.
I'll drink to that.
Is
Is
this
You'll
man?
drink the duck?
Yeah, he's gonna drink the duck. Like
either
It's like,
either
if this
DM,
is- Wait,
DM
what?
either one of us, or just go
Add us.
to the
or just fucking
either
add
go
us.
to the
Like
Discord.
go to the Discord,
Yeah.
add us. Like if you've got
You
some.
heathen. Heathens, do this.
Just let us know. Like I don't care how you tell us, but that's something we really struggled with last year,
Yeah.
and we need help with this year.
Oh,
So
I
please.
Well, I just want to point out, like, within reason, nobody here is going to eat like a fucking bowl of spiders or anything. So, like nobody's going to take a bite out of a huge chunk of shit or anything. Like, within reason, please. Within
Okay, but
reason.
knife fights are fine.
We're not gonna, like
I think
CJ's not gonna shoot me
me
in the foot. Like,
no, but me downing a 40 and taking John's car for a drive on the table, straight up. Everyone spam John's DMs with that idea.
CJ, if you never want to see home again, that's a great idea.
Isn't either you'll kill me on the drive wall.
I mean, oh, CJ. All right.
Justin, you put that idea.
That's why Justin's laughing.
I hate you, Justin. You put that idea in my head. Now I can't get out of it. My brother's like, you won't down a 40. You won't do it. I'm like, now I gotta do it.
I just can't wait for people who have not been like in the same room with me to just like casually look at me doing nothing and wonder, is John about to kill me? Because that was a Brit's reaction.
No, so when I first saw John, my first reaction was, "Wow, he's tall. I'm gonna hug Derek first." And then
Derek's good hugging size.
like the way John just sits and looks at his phone, like you would think like he's reading every like shit take about him, because he just looks like he's so mad all the time. And I'm like
all the time. Like it doesn't matter what I'm doing.
John is the physical embodiment of Twitter.
It doesn't matter what I'm doing. Like I've had that people tell me that my whole life. I could just be sitting there doing nothing, watching TV, and like literally, it's
John,
this is just my face, CJ. This is just my face.
There's
right
nothing
here.
wrong with resting bitch face. It's fine. I got it too,
I mean,
buddy.
John,
CJ.
how tall are you?
I am 6'2", a little over 6'2".
Yeah, John's fucking. He's giant.
I'm
I'm 5'4", so I was like.
I can dunk on him. I can dunk on both.
And I'm not like a reedy skinny 6'2".
5'7".
Like I'm a big boy.
If I lost a few pounds, I could probably be taller.
Wait, how tall are you, CJ?
I don't know.
You don't know how tall you are?
I don't know. I haven't measured
How the
myself.
fuck
I'm like
do you
6.
not know how tall you are?
I don't know. I leave things. That's up to God to decide.
What does your driver's license say?
It's 6 foot. 6 foot.
No, but CJ, if I'm doing nothing at all, this is
John
my
just looks pissed.
this is my regular face.
Like that. Jesus fucking Christ, man. God damn.
Like that's just
Sorry.
that's just my, that's just my regular fucking walking around everyday face.
You're gonna be like, should I be here? Should I be in his house? Do I need to leave?
John just read like some heinous tweet that I like decided to like post or whatever.
Somebody
John looked through my DMs with Justin.
Somebody's talking some shit about Final Fantasy VI in the vicinity. I know it. I know it because I look directly at that person and hiss. Like it's pretty apparent when I'm aware of that. No, I'm a big fucking teddy bear. But we'll go ahead and get out of here. Please look forward to our upcoming stream. I know we are. It's going to be a great fucking time. I'm going to be recording a Valkyrie Elysium review here very soon, so please be on the lookout for that. Once again, thank you Square Enix for the code. I love being I love the fact that we're Square Enix content creators. It's really cool.
Oh, 100%. I get to tell people that. It's such a big flex. Like, look, Square hasn't been nice to me as far as Fantasy Critic, but you know what? I still stand. I still love them. Although, they still give me MSL. God bless.
Britt, I will never forget. One of my favorite memories this year was of your face firing up Chrono Cross on the Switch for the first time.
I will cry now if you even bring it up. That shit, like oof.
that.
I hope they patch it.
It
does not run great, but it's still just such a good memory.
Britt and I were the ones who got the codes for that. When I sent Britt her code, she just sent me a picture of her like in tears holding her Switch.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was so good.
Good shit.
It was so good.
Shit.
All right.
It was my Final Fantasy VI moment.
It was.
For John.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. All right, guys. Let's get out of here. We love you all. Take care of each other. And remember, kindness costs nothing. We will see you all next week.